This vitamin could raise your stroke risk overnight. A shocking truth from a brain doctor. Have you ever thought that a vitamin you take daily might be silently damaging your brain? Well, as a neurologist, I used to recommend certain supplements to my patients thinking they were helping improve their health. But after what I've seen in recent years, I have to warn you that one common vitamin could dramatically increase your risk of stroke, especially if you are over 60. And even more concerning is the fact that many people take this vitamin without being aware of its potential side effects. They see supplements as harmless and think the more vitamins, the healthier. But that's not always the case. So in this video, I am going to reveal which vitamin could put you at risk of stroke and what you can do to protect yourself. Let's dive right in. Vitamin E has gained popularity for its potential benefits in supporting brain health and cognitive function. However, recent studies have shed light on a potential dark side of this seemingly beneficial vitamin. The research suggests that long-term use of high doses of vitamin E may lead to an increased risk of brain hemorrhages, particularly in older adults. One study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who took high doses of vitamin E supplements had a higher risk of experiencing internal bleeding in the brain compared to those who did not take the supplements. Another study published in the Annals of Neurology reported that individuals with higher levels of vitamin E in their blood had a greater likelihood of developing brain bleeds, especially those with a history of vascular risk factors, such as high blood pressure. The problem seems to lie in the way that vitamin E affects blood clotting. Vitamin E is known to have blood-thinning properties, which can be beneficial in preventing blood clots in the heart and other parts of the body. However, this same effect can be detrimental in the brain. When vitamin E thins the blood too much, it can make it more difficult for the blood to clot properly, leading to an increased risk of bleeding in the brain. This becomes a serious concern for older adults because as we age, our blood vessels become more fragile and our blood pressure tends to fluctuate more. And so when vitamin E is involved, it increases the fragility of blood vessels and the risk of blood pressure fluctuations, making it more likely for a bleed to occur. But why vitamin E, you might wonder? After all, it's a common vitamin found in many multivitamin supplements, and it's associated with positive health benefits. Well, here's the thing. Unlike many vitamins, the human body does not produce vitamin E on its own, meaning we must obtain it from our diet. Natural sources of vitamin E include nuts, seeds, vegetable oils, and green leafy vegetables. However, it is important to note that the amount of vitamin E in these foods is generally lower compared to what is typically found in dietary supplements. It is in these concentrated forms that the potential problems arise. When people switch from natural food sources to supplements, they can easily consume much more vitamin E than is necessary or recommended. One of the reasons for this is that the recommended dietary allowance, or RDA, for vitamin E varies depending on age and gender. For adults, the RDA for vitamin E is 15 milligrams per day. However, many people take much higher doses, sometimes as high as 400 international units or more, believing that more is better for their health. Unfortunately, this can lead to a buildup of vitamin E in the body and potential negative consequences. To understand why this happens, we need to look at how the body absorbs and uses vitamin E. When we consume vitamin E from food or supplements, it is absorbed in the small intestine and then transported through the blood to various tissues, including the brain. In the brain, vitamin E can cross the blood-brain barrier, which is a protective layer of cells that helps regulate the passage of substances into the brain. Once inside the brain, vitamin E can interact with various cellular processes, including those related to inflammation and oxidative stress. One of the main functions of vitamin E in the brain is its antioxidant activity. It helps protect brain cells from damage caused by free radicals, which are unstable molecules that can contribute to aging and disease. However, when there is an excess of vitamin E in the body, this antioxidant activity can become problematic. Studies have shown that high levels of vitamin E can interfere with the function of other antioxidants in the brain, disrupting the delicate balance needed for proper brain function. Additionally, high levels of vitamin E can also interfere with the normal functioning of blood clotting factors in the brain, leading to a higher risk of bleeding. This is particularly concerning for older adults who may already be at risk of age-related blood clotting issues. In fact, a study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that high doses of vitamin E were associated with an increased risk of death in people with severe Alzheimer's disease. The researchers concluded that although vitamin E is generally recognized as a safe supplement, high doses should be used with caution, especially in older adults with cognitive impairments. So how much vitamin E is too much? Well, the exact amount can vary depending on individual factors such as overall health and other medications being taken. Most experts agree that doses exceeding 400 international units per day are likely to pose a risk of overdose. It's important to note that different vitamin E products have different potencies, and it's always best to follow the recommended dosage on the product label or as advised by a healthcare professional. When it comes to taking vitamin E, it's crucial to prioritize safety and consult with a doctor before starting any new supplements, especially if you are over 60 or have any pre-existing medical conditions. By being informed and taking the right precautions, you can make healthier choices for your well-being. Now, you might be wondering, what if I've been taking high doses of vitamin E for a while? Should I be concerned? Well, it's understandable that you might feel worried or uncertain about your health if you've been taking high doses of vitamin E supplements. It's important to remember that everyone's situation is unique, and there is no one-size-fits-all answer. However, I can provide you with some guidance and steps you can take to address your concerns. First and foremost, it's crucial to have an open and honest conversation with your doctor. Share your history of taking high doses of vitamin E supplements, including the specific dosage and duration. Your doctor will consider your individual circumstances, such as your age, overall health, and other medications you might be taking to assess the potential impact on your health. Based on your discussion with your doctor, they may recommend certain tests to evaluate your current health status and identify any potential issues related to high doses of vitamin E. These tests may include blood tests to check for any vitamin E buildup in your body or other indicators of potential problems. Your doctor might also suggest monitoring your blood pressure, checking your blood clotting time, and assessing your liver function. Since the liver plays a role in metabolizing vitamin E, remember, knowledge is power. By understanding the potential risks of high doses of vitamin E and working closely with your doctor, you can take proactive steps to safeguard your health and well-being. If you are interested in learning more about the dangers of high-dose vitamin E, I encourage you to watch another video I made on the topic. You can find it in the description below. Take care. Now I want to talk about something else that can harm your health. It's the #1 cause of stroke. That's right, high blood pressure. And I have a video that explains how you can control your blood pressure naturally. Click on this video on the screen now to learn how to keep your blood pressure under control. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more health tips. Thanks for watching.